Meghan Markle here.
Today is October 23rd, 2025. It is 2:36 a.m. This is video number 3. And I'm continuing with my list. It's a long list. So let's go on Twitter. We're just gonna continue. That was on my last video. Next tweet. First tweet. People need to stop downplaying whatever role Fergie had. She literally called him a supreme friend. Girl was writing books and selling everything she could put her hands on, and she still had to borrow money from a rapist and sex trafficker. I can't defend that at all. I cannot defend that at all. Her role shouldn't be minimized. She was right there, benefiting from the same dirty money and protecting the same monster. Calling him a supreme friend while taking loans from a convicted trafficker isn't ignorance. It's complicity. She's not innocent. She's part of the rat. Not to mention the £50,000 she was exposed demanding for access to her ex. Then UK trade attaché. That is corruption in any language. Exactly, people had for outrage for Meghan for selling gems to help provide for her family than they do for Sarah receiving money of a pedophile for 15 years. She even took her own children to meet him from prison. God help us. It has been reported that for 15 years, Epstein was financially supporting Fergie. Wow. Can't defend that. I have other suspicion, but this, you can't defend that at all. Next tweet. Okay, exclusive. Was Hanbury, the Marchioness of Cholmondeley, has raised eyebrows with her uncanny habit of dressing like Kate Middleton, reigniting speculation over her rumor affair with Prince William and fueling whispers. I'm starting to laugh because she's coming to play again. Alright, whispers she's deliberately mirroring the Princess of Wales at every move. Click the link below for detail. I mean, I'm just sharing with you. I don't. Okay, so there's a thing here. This has been proved false and a nasty lie spread. Giles Coren admitted he started the rumor in 2019 and deleted his post on X. Okay, so I saw it. I don't know. When I saw it, this was not on there. Okay, that what do you call this? It's like an asterisk to say how do you call this? To fact check it. So this was, it claimed it's wrong. Okay, it's false. So let's leave that alone. Let's move on. Next tweet. But then again, when the royal family don't want something to spread, hey, money talks to tell people otherwise, even though it might be true. All right, next tweet. Let's go, King William. I'm 100% behind you. Set that precedent. Get them title stripped. Lay that foundation to end the monarchy. All right, so there's the saying that it's William who's going after Prince Andrew titles and all of that. So the squad was saying he should go ahead and do that. That way, get rid of the royal family. All right, the only way that it will fly is if he included everyone except the direct heir, working royal or not. This is the only way to demonstrate that he's serious. It doesn't make any sense or difference otherwise. No more Prince Edward, Louis, or Princess Charlotte. He's also setting himself and his heirs up. It will become even more toxic amongst warring factions when they know they can relatively easily get an enemy the title and kick out. Let's see here. It'll be interesting to see if there's any appetite for his plan, considering the horrible optic concerning stripping Harry and Meghan's kids. If they want to change the rules, they should just do it for the next generation after. They have no ground to change the rules, and quite frankly, the aristocratic set will not take kindly to that. If he tries, he will find all his dirty laundry on Front Street before he can say bet. It's all posturing and grandstanding. Great point about the aristocracy. Most of them don't qualify as working well, so why should they be allowed to hold on to their titles or land? William really thinks that he's going to be able to go in and do whatever he wants. He's trying to open a giant can of worms out of spite. Let him. It will catch up to him eventually. Yeah, that's what the squad is saying. Go William, strip yourself of the Prince of Wales title, as Welsh did not give you permission to use it and don't want you using it. Alright, my thought exactly. Remember this article. When the truth comes out, we want an end to that BS monarchy. Let's see here. What will happen to Prince William if he was charged with a serious crime? Can you send a prince to prison? And what happens when he becomes the king? That was in 2024. Alright, whatever's on the screen, bottom up. Yeah, kind of makes the royal family tree thing a bit irrelevant. If you can get Chucky out, you're right. May he burn the monarchy down to the ground. The UK government should probably seize all the properties too. I don't understand the concept of not owning the land your home is on. There's something, there's a couple properties where I bought where they said anything that's below it in term, let's say in the future they find there's minerals, there's oil under the property, it will not be mine. Okay, it will be for whoever has the right to whatever below the house. And there's also airspace right. I remember working for, there's a firm that I was working for, and it was in Manhattan, and these the person who owned the building want to add additional stories to it. So we spend a lot of time creating, designing, and do all sort of stuff. Perfect. We went and spent a lot of time taking measurement, and we did all the design and things like that in terms of structural and things like that. But the building could not go up because there's someone else who owned the airspace. Okay? The airspace, it surpassed this is why the building had to be at that level, because anything above it, it's for someone else. And they were trying to buy the airspace. Can you imagine that? Airspace. And the person did not want to sell it. It wasn't 2 million. And just air, okay? An empty space. So the thing never get going. We spent so much time on it, and it never, well, let me not say it never, because I left the firm. I don't know what happened to it. All right? Airspace right. So yeah, that can happen. But with the royal family, however, because of the position, pretty much where it's so corrupted, it's because of their position. They give them all those land to take care of, but they still want more and more and more. I don't know. We shall see how that goes, because the people are suffering. All right, let's go to the next tweet. Before I continue, let's look airspace right. All right, let me pause and search for it, because I know when I'm editing, I'm going to want to look for it to get screenshot. Okay, I may not read all of it, but you could pause your screen and read this. This is what I type on Google. What is airspace rights? Airspace rights are the legal property right to the vertical space above a piece of land. These rights allowed a landowner to control and develop the space above their property, but they are not infinite and are subject to public rights of way for aircraft and local zoning laws. Air rights can be bought, okay, this is what I was saying, can be bought, sold, or transferred separately from the land itself, which is common in dense urban areas where developers want to build taller structures. This was the issues we had in that particular property we were doing in New York City. Okay? So you could pause and read. Like I said, I don't know what happened to that particular project we were working on, but it was put on pause. Okay? I don't even remember the address. I could easily walk past and see if they the firm that I was working on built it. Okay, so they had issues with airspace, right? And also, when it comes to the public, there are, and this is why it seems like the kind of joy that I used to have with architecture, where, for instance, there's certain areas where you walk, you see, like the brownstone. I just love them. You see the same height. There's the consistency. They have character and things like that. But now every piece of land people have, they just put a huge box and build up with no characters or nothing. And there was a time my youngest was telling me, was talking to me about things in New York, and I was so at awe with his way of thinking about buildings in Manhattan. But anyway, that's that. Let's go to the next tweet. Okay, I have it on the screen. Why does Harry's sibling want the royal lodge when he has 5 or 6 other homes that were supposed to be his forever homes? Okay, so talking about the other brother. Okay, there's me here. It's mine, all mine, mine, mine. Okay, greed. It's pretty much greed. There's no chance in hell. Let's pause it. There's no chance in hell he's getting it now. Not after the backlash they're getting. All right, the royal family is on front page all the since what, last week, and this is why the squad was saying for Harry and Meghan to just relax, go on vacation, don't come out to switch the topic. I think the story about William wanting royal lodge could have been made up by the taxi British media. You know how they are. Me thinks this isn't really about Billy wanting the nun's lodge. It's about evicting Andrew, moving him into Frogmore Cottage, and ultimately paving the way to strip titles from his black blood relation. I said bring on the Spencer surname. It's better anyway. And the other thing as well, the kind of pain they think they're gonna inflict on Harry by removing his title, it's not, because Harry and Meghan, they're putting on the work. Is the thing here. They're putting on the work. They could live, as you can see, since they left the UK, they're doing fine without the royal family. Okay, so she retweeted that. That was by October 21. A possible way forward in 2022, Queen Margaret II removed princely title from 4 of her grandchildren, Nicola, Felix, Henrik, and Athena. The Queen said the decision was made to allow her grandchildren greater freedom to shape their own lives. I reported on this. I know who this person is talking about. It's the Queen that abdicate, and now her son is taking over. King Frederick something. Okay. At that time, it was at the height, a little bit after when the Queen Elizabeth passed, and there was invite, uninvite. It was a whole shenanigan. And I think, okay, that was their way to try to see if they could remove titles from Harry and his kids. So I think they forced, I definitely talk about this in one of my videos. They tried to pressure her, and I think she did it because there was pressure put on them. And there was a whole bunch of shenanigans. The son, who they took the titles of his kids away from them, was upset about it. And I think at that time he was in France when he heard about it. He's like, where did that come from? It was out of nowhere. There was no warning. Okay? It was a huge deal. I remember talking about it. And it was around the time when Queen Elizabeth II passed. And then later on, maybe a year or so later, she abdicated. Queen Margaret abdicated. And now her son, Frederick something, took over and reinstated it. Reinstate the titles of those kids. Let me pause and see, look into that. Because I haven't really followed them that much, but that issue, because it was around the time I was looking into Queen Elizabeth's funeral and all of that, all this debacle came about. Let me pause and look to see if they reinstate the titles of the brother. Okay, so he did not reinstate their royal title. Okay, no, King Frederick did not reinstate his nephew's royal titles as they were officially removed by his mother, Queen Margaret, in 2022. However, on his 57th birthday in May 2025, that's what I was aware of, but I thought it was, well, there's different titles. Okay, so I was aware of that as well. King Frederick bestowed the Grand Cross of the Order of Den Bourg, on his nephews, Count Nicholas and Count Felix of Montpezat, whatever that is, a high honor for notable Danes, Nicola, Frederick, and their younger siblings, Henrik and Athena, can no longer use their princely title and instead use the aristocratic titles of Count and Countess of Montpezat, though they remain in line of succession. So this is what they want to do for Harry's kids, I think. Okay? So let me read bottom up. You could pause and read everything. King's action. On his 57th birthday in May 2025, King Frederick awarded Nicola and Felix, okay, I'm repeating, honor for notable Dane. This is considered a gesture of support, but does not reinstate their royal title. Okay, so William wants to go after the royal title from Harry's kids. That's what it is. He wants to follow this. Okay, so they're setting the precedent for him to do. This is what they want. They really feel so proud of their royal thing. But the squad did raise something in one of the videos I did yesterday. They when Harry and Meghan went to Nigeria, the 4 kings who bestowed certain royal titles on them, so they could disassociate the royal title with the British royals, but in connection with the other 4 Nigerian royals. Okay, after this, that's it. Because Harry's home put at least 4 out of 6 of the siblings' homes to shame. And before people say it's crown property, yes, it is, but that means nothing when mold, mildew, and age are into effect. That is true. You can't live in these things with all those things. They will get you sick. Next tweet. Byline did a report on people who got sick with moldy things.
Now, taking a look at poverty and health back here in Britain. Now, this week saw the inquest into the death of the young boy Awab Ishak, and the conclusion was that toxic mold in his house had led to his death.
All right, next tweet. Me watching the farce implode. Yes, King William, come to the front and take your seat. You will go down as the Judas that brought the House of Windsor down, and I barely rate you for that. There's that. Okay, he could take a seat with them. That's for sure. There's all of that. These pictures came out when they were trying to figure out where was that, and then it's the same spot. I mean, they knew what they were doing. Okay, Epstein and Maxwell, they knew exactly what they were doing. They made sure to take that picture. Exactly the same spot where the Queen is, if people were to doubt where they were. All right, it's Andrew who brought them to the Queen's private retreat. I think that was their retreat home, the Queen retreat home. Next tweet. I still want to know why articles like this started appearing at the time Kate disappeared suddenly, and when she reappeared, she had a scar above her left eye. What will happen to Prince William if he was charged with a serious crime? Can you send a prince to prison? And what happens when he becomes the king? So that was, when was that? 23, 24. And that other person's husband, they claim he's self-inflicted. He was killed. I don't know. A lot of things going on. Okay, I'm still convinced that the December 28, 2023 ambulance, Kate's disappearance, her scar, Thomas Kingston, and those articles about William committing a serious crime are connected in some very dark way. Undoubtedly, this happened after someone had a bad temper, murdered Ella's husband. Nobody did an anal exam. Oh my God, what the hell? An anal exam on the homicide victim. Anyway, a certain hothead did not attend a service for his godfather. When William was seen next, he had a bruise, cut, and a scratch on his head, face, and neck. A lot of things was going on. It's the same situation here, okay? They all connected. It's somewhere in some of my videos. Yes, it did. Thanks for the reminder. Something definitely happened to trigger those headlines. Yep, I agree. Something horrid went on behind those walls. This is why they don't like the squad. The royal family wants to bury these issues, but that's the squad bring it back up. But it did happen. Okay, the British media knew. just as Valentine Law knew about Meghan Sussex HR title and request for help when she was struggling because of APTS. The firm refused to help her. July 2019, Meghan is surrounded by racists. Look at Archie, his little feet. We just leave it baggage for God. Alright? Speeding facts. Next tweet. UK media. Okay, let's pause this. Kudos to the British media. They managed to divert attention away from Virginia Giuffre and the allegation against Prince Andrew and the failure to properly investigate. By whipping out outrage by lying about the terms of a lease they've known about since its inception. Alright. They managed to spend in 24 hours. Nothing is a surprise with the media. They already know everything. It is about how much they can reveal. The king is at the Vatican praying apparently, so nothing will overshadow that. At least they will spend it that way. Stop buying them. Alright, they used the title to try and cool things down, but that didn't work. So now they have told the press to go after the Lodge. Even though he has ironclad lists, it may be their best option. They have to do something to deflect from police investigation. The media on their side. Alright, no surprise there. I noticed the UK news channel have hardly mentioned the whole debacle today, and like you said, those that have are more concerned with his list than his crimes. Wow. These are people in the UK who's talking about what they're seeing on their television. To them, investigate equals fabricate. The British media do not serve the people of the UK. They serve the grifting monarchy and their pedo princes, greedy billionaires, and corrupt politicians by spreading lies and propaganda. The UK, what the US is turning into is what the UK have always been. And it's sad. Alright, next tweet. This woman, the Carole Malone. I remember vividly her manic screeching on Jeremy Vine that Prince Harry was far worse than Prince Andrew as. Prince Harry was damaging the institution and Prince Andrew is merely a misguided fool. This is why we are in the mess we have women like this. How come Jeremy Vine hasn't had her on these last few days? There's two comments in there. Let's see here. She was on today, OMG. Miss the witch. She tends to be on a Wednesday, either Jeremy or Storm. Any bastard who defends Andrew and shides Prince Harry is diabolical, wickedly pathetic, deranged vagabond, in my opinion. Alright, she been writing disgusting articles for years. I remember many of them she wrote about Diana. She published 31st August 1997, the day Diana died. It was from the first edition before the news broke. I think this edition was pulled off the shelves pretty fast. Wow. Oh, Malone, be clever, Camila, and climb up that. Wow. They know. These people are vile. Next tweet. I'm about to stop. I'm already 20-something minutes here. Next tweet. Okay. Haha. Mike Graham is sacked from Talk Breakfast show after racist post on his Facebook account as he insists he was hacked. That was, yesterday, 2025. I don't know who he is, but the squad were talking about it. So that's him here? Okay, Bro was saying what he usually says, no. Okay, Mike Graham has now deleted his racist Facebook post, but he also said on air this bloke Iran Khan, whoever he is, should go back to Pakistan. Alright, 32 seconds. Okay, yep, and after that I go to the next one.
Pakistani community and the FA, says Anna in Surrey. And Louise says, good morning, Mike. Louise from Ipswich. Aston Villa might as well have put up a sign saying no Jews allowed. This is blatant anti-Semitism. I'm frankly ashamed of Aston Villa. I'm ashamed of Birmingham. I'm ashamed of the police in Birmingham. These people have no business in our country. And this bloke, Ayub Khan, whoever he is, should go back to Pakistan and practice his anti-Semitism somewhere where people appreciate it, because we certainly do not. Me and Chloe Pakistani community and the...
So that's that. Next tweet. Wow. So there's that. Let's pause. Harry and Meghan chose independence and justice. Piers Morgan's attacks are just hypocrisy from someone protecting the status quo. They all are baggage for God. Let's listen to this.
Can we talk about Harry and Meghan as we're talking about the
If
royals?
we have to.
Do you actually hate them?
No, I actually have less and less interest in them.
But they do feature in a chapter of the book.
They
There
do,
is a
because I
royal
think-
chapter.
Yeah, there is a chapter really about the royals generally, but also about, to me, what they represent is the epitome of the worst aspects of wokeism. The virtue signalling, the victimhood, the always blaming other people, the rank hypocrisy, jumping on private jets and preaching about the environment, preaching about poverty on their Twitter account and then having a $500,000 baby shower and so on. There's sort of an underpinning of hypocrisy.
So much nonsense here. The baby shower that he's making reference to is what her friends, Serena Williams, her rich friends threw for her in the US. I believe it was in Manhattan. She flew from the UK to go to that baby shower that her friend threw for her. And then with the private jet, we've seen so many other pictures and videos where people are showing Harry being in commercial plane. All right, so baggage for God.
The double standards, virtue signaling, victimhood, all these things which I despise about the woke mentality. But they've become increasingly less relevant, really.
They want people to stay asleep so they could do whatever it is that they want to on people who's sleeping. But Harry and Meghan, keep doing your thing. May God continue to protect you. All right, whatever's on the screen. The fact that everything he said about Harry and Meghan in this interview was done by other royals, Charles, William, both preaching about environment, and yet they never stop using private jet. William preaching about homelessness, and yet he's about to move to his new place, to his new palace. Charles attended COP28 conference to discuss climate change, took a private jet. William, with his Earthshot, uses private jet like Ubers, even on his last trip to Balmoral. Piers has no point. Okay, misleading people to hate Harry and Meghan more. Everything Harry and Meghan fought back was British media's smears supported by the British royal family. They would have gone quiet if smear hadn't continued when they moved to Canada and US. They put them in danger, hence private jet. Harry did not hold back on this. If I'm not mistaken, Harry said when he is traveling by himself, he will use public transportation, commercial plan. But when he's traveling with his family, let's say wife and kids, okay, private jet. He let people know that, and we could understand why. Okay, you want the safety of your kids to be guarded, so private jet it is. And if I'm not mistaken, it's possible when Harry and Meghan went to New York, and I don't know if Harry went to DC as well, they use public, I keep on saying public, commercial plane. Okay, Piers Morgan is trying to sell his book by using Queen Meghan's name. Everyone of her haters uses her name to pay their bills and put food on their tables. Why are you even posting this? It's BS. PC Morgan chatting shit. Harry and Meghan are doing great work and have a wonderful platform that's supporting them. They are happy and thriving. Please focus on that. Honestly, sometimes I wonder why Meghan's friends share nonsense and hateful content. So I guess that passes on to me, and there I am. I'm sharing it with you. There's more comment. Let's move on. All right. Remember when King Charles said there weren't enough money to pay for Meghan's food while she was a working member of the royal family? All right. So that was in Harry's book, Spare. There it is.
Driving us out into the fields, asked about Meg. Not with great interest, just casually. Still, he didn't always ask, so I was pleased. She's good, thanks. Does she want to carry on working? Say again. Does she want to keep on acting? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I expect she'll want to be with me, doing the job, which would rule out Suits, since they film in Toronto. I see. Well, darling boy, you know there's not enough money to go around. I stared. What was he banging on about? He explained, or tried to. I can't pay for anyone else. I'm already having to pay for your brother and Catherine. I flinched. Something about his use of the name Catherine. I remembered the time he and Camilla wanted Kate to change the spelling of her name because there were already 2 royal ciphers with a C and a crown above. Charles and Camilla. It would be too confusing to have another. Make it Catherine with a K, they suggested. I wondered now what came of that suggestion. I turned to Willie, gave him a look that said, "You listening to this?" His face was blank. Pa didn't financially support Willie and me and our families out of any largesse. That was his job. That was the whole deal. We agreed to serve the monarch, go wherever we were sent, do whatever we were told, surrender our autonomy, keep our hands and feet inside the gilded cage at all times, and in exchange the keepers of the cage agreed to feed and clothe us. Was Pa, with all his millions from the hugely lucrative Duchy of Cornwall, trying to say that our captivity was starting to cost him a bit too much? Besides which, how much could it possibly cost to house and feed Meg? I wanted to say, she doesn't eat much, you know, and I'll ask her to make her own clothes, if you like. It was suddenly clear to me that this wasn't about money. Pa might have dreaded the rising cost of maintaining us, but what he really couldn't stomach was someone new dominating the monarchy, grabbing the limelight. Someone shiny and new coming in and overshadowing him, and Camilla. He'd lived through that before and had no interest in living through it again.
Times Prince Andrew has not paid rent on Royal Lodge for 2 decades. Okay, that's a GIF. That's a GIF. Our highest lord is driving. We just need to move out the way. Okay, it's like Jesus take the wheel. The man calling himself a trade envoy with no qualification for the job and probably no more than average intelligent by all accounts. Will we find out anything about his activities aboard? I wonder. There was a time after some scandal came out and he was forced to be in the back, and then you had I think they were trying to bring him back out again, where he wanted to go to the Middle East and stuff. And you had the priest or the bishop trying to defend him. I don't think he's there anymore. The same person who did Meghan and Harry's wedding. Okay, the man called himself, okay, I read that. While the legacy for late Queen Lizzie, a proverb we can only measure the length of a frog after its death. There was £12 million hush money paid. Mama knows what's best for favorite son. All right, let's go to the next tweet. Looks like I might finish everything in this video because I only have 2 more left. Okay, so there's no caption here. Is this screenshot? People are now, I think this is a misspell. The L is supposed to be an O because the O is right next to the L on the keyboard. People are now apologizing to Meghan, demonizing her. They are finally seeing the true colors of the firm. In light of the new information coming out regarding the royal family, I sincerely express my apologies in demonizing Meghan Markle. As a fellow black woman, I'm appalled at the disposition I had of her character based on media perceptions. I pray that Meghan finds new healing, prosperity, and happiness in her life with Prince Harry. As I've said in the past, you have your senses. You have your sight, your hearing, all of that, and you didn't bother to use them. And you already know how much pressure black people, especially black women, goes through in this country. And you didn't even bother to tap in your senses to go and research before you start jumping on the bandwagon. I can understand the media can poke your emotion, but there's the internet. You could do research to verify if what the media is saying is actually what Meghan is doing. I don't understand how people can easily jump on the bandwagon or jump on anything, but always on the negative side. And it's been a couple of years since the media have been on Meghan's back. And it is, I don't know, is it now that this person wrote this apology? This is a screenshot. It said 13 hours. So it could have been whatever, a couple of years ago they took the screenshot, and that's when, I don't know. But I'm glad she realized. I don't even want to say I'm glad she realized it now, because so many people have been doing the work, so many squaddies have been doing the pushback, and it is now that the media's campaign seems, I mean, they're still at it. It seems it's now that the media is, their campaign is not working, it's falling flat. I don't understand. And Meghan have moved on. And your apology, I don't know, it's up to Meghan to whatever. She's not even online anyway to see this nonsense anyway. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that. The only thing I could say, whether it is sincere, I'm just glad she's not on the negative side. But my God, you should have known from the beginning. I mean, I've explained my side. I was never following Meghan. I know of her existence, but I started looking into Harry and Meghan because of the media, because I had to put one and one together and say, no, the headline cannot be true, because this is not how a black woman will behave, no matter what the media have said, especially if you live in the US. Yes, there are some people who can be other than, there's always one, okay? Nobody's perfect. But if you live in the US, you should know very well the pressure, the injustice, the lies that are said about black people, especially black women. I don't know. That's my point of view. I don't know this person either on social media or personally. But my God. But whatever. Well, she's a baggage for God, and it's up to Meghan to accept her apology. All right, whatever's there. As a black person, if she didn't know this all along, then I feel sorry for her. We all saw what was happening. It was clear as day. The media could not convince me otherwise then, and definitely not now. She chose to believe the media. Yeah. She isn't alone. Even some Nigerian changes their negative views of her after they saw how the British media abused her for visiting their country. This isn't 2 months later. We are years into the abuse. Duchess Meghan is happy, living her best life, and this troll now sees she was wrong. Good for her, whatever. There's the rolling eye. She can launch herself into the sun. All right, there's more comment. Let's move on. Next tweet. Now it's about the Spencer's name. Let's pause. Lily's name becoming Lilibet Diana Spencer will send Prince William into permanent psychosis. I almost hope he tries to do it for that reason. Bring it on. Harry and Meghan Spencer, or Prince and Princess Henry. Whatever they use, this sounds pretty good. Lilibet Diana Spencer. A few squaddies proposed that the Sussexes adopt the Spencer name some times ago. Lord, make it happen. So did Harry. Harry almost changed it earlier this year when the UK was delaying the kids' passports. Yeah, I didn't look too much into this about the passport thing. Yeah, and I did hear it. Right? The royal family is trying their best to prevent Harry from doing anything without throwing him a roadblock. So, which means if they change it, they're gonna have to go do the birth certificate, change it. I think that can be done in the US as well. If you show the original birth certificate and then you ask you to change it and then make it that. It is with the greatest of pleasure that we introduce to you Meghan Spencer, former Duchess of Sussex, wife of the much admired and globally respected Prince Harry Spencer, nephew of the Venerable Charles Spencer, and son of the beloved former Princess of Wales, Lady Diana Spencer. You know what came to mind? There's a possibility William might want the Sussex name to title to be for one of his kids, because Harry and Meghan have elevated that Sussex name so highly. So he will want that for one of his kids. Now, what his kids will do with it is up to them. It may not be the same quality. It could be that. All right, do it. There's a laugh and fire. this is my last tweet for this video. Okay, there's more comment, but I just want, oh, it's not that much. Okay, there's that. Yes, I like Prince and Princess Henry. Definitely, I can't wait for him to take that name. Then he will quickly realize that it's not the name, but it's the character behind the name. Thank you. That's what I've been saying. Yes, bring it on, and let's see those racists die a slow and painful death. All right, this is my last one. The knowledge that my princess didn't sign an NDA. That's Meghan who didn't sign an NDA with the royal family. Girl, I was on about this yesterday. That's the beauty of it all. There's the laugh here. That's an ad. People are laughing. Okay. I'm so happy she didn't. Hopefully one day she write her memoir. Who knows? Things probably already written. There's that. Pause this. The squad are laughing. They didn't expect her to leave that quick and misjudge her for a dumb English rose. There's a laugh here. Who will not want to stay in that gilded cage as many white women would. I know she is class personified and never will, but my God, I want her to spill all the tea. There's that, the receipt. Okay, I love that she said it in the documentary. I LOL when she said it. Who sign an NDA when they get married? Just to mention, it shows that you are not trustworthy and marriage means nothing. Yeah, and that should be like a big warning to you if you have to sign an NDA. Who knows what the husband might be planning on doing, and then after you divorce, you can't say a damn thing. Nah, it's a recipe for disaster. I could understand prenup in terms of different things. You're gonna have certain amount of money, properties, or whatever, or you live with whatever you come with. You bought in the marriage. That I could understand, but NDA, no. What if the guy is about to? Oh, it could be either way. Either the woman or the man gonna abuse you, do all sort of things, and then once you divorce, you can talk about it. Hell no. That would be a no-no for me if they had to bring that. And then in the prenup, they have to read it carefully to make sure this is not sneaking somewhere. All right, be careful what you wish for, pedo. Marco was great pals with Andrew's daughters. All right, Virginia Godfrey's lawyer suggests calling Meghan Markle to testify in Prince Andrew case. What year was that? 2021. I'm like, what does that have to do with it? They could be Harry and Meghan could be friend with Beatrice and all that. You think the girls will be discussing what his father was doing with Epstein? This is okay. So let me read everything. The fact they keep saying she's bad-mouthing them in that interview and spilled everything. Oh honey, nothing has been spilled yet. Actually, Harry said more stuff than Meghan, and you better be careful. She has those kids. Because the older they get, the more inclined she'll be to not bring it up again. All right. So that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. And leave comment. And if your comment has anything to do with anything that I say in the video, please leave screenshot, timestamp. Leave timestamp. What are you referring to? Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
Tanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.